Gather round and let me tell you a story of realms long forgotten. There are tales of the Forest Kingdom, a place of honour and chivalry, known to some as the Land of the Purple Dragon, but known to all as Cormyr.
Hi, I'm Tilda, and I'm playing Hiram, a half-orc paladin.
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm playing Cassia Donahue, a human bard.
Hi, my name is Anton, and I play Balthazar, a Warforged Cloak of Azuth.
Hi, my name is Al, and I'm playing Slate, a changeling druid.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm playing Zombo, who is a halfling rogue/warlock.
And my name is Dan. I shall be the dungeon master on this adventure. Hello, everybody! Hello! How are you all doing?
Hello, Demon.
Hello.
Hello,
Everyone.
we're doing good, I think.
Hi, the stars foretold that we would all be here at this precise moment to play some Dungeons and Dragons, and I am a sucker for a prophecy.
That's right, no planning needed.
No, we just seamlessly
Simultaneously connected.
found our way here through no kind of crying or high. Yeah, how are we all doing?
Good.
Good, thanks.
Good.
Marvelous.
Good.
So
Wordless. Very sad.
Yeah. Are we reenacting Top Gun tonight then?
quite possibly that's topical, isn't it? That dates us slightly. It is the late 80s. So yes, last time we left where we left the Warhounds, you had just successfully saved one of the quarters, one of the districts of Suzail, the western districts, and off the back of it had a very peculiar encounter and some very troubling news, which it would seem would require your relatively immediate response to.
And then we had some damn fine negotiation as well.
We did have some fine negotiation. It was all very lovely, wasn't it?
And a whole day and a long rest.
Yes, that as well.
Oh,
I remember that very vividly.
Do you? Oh, that's a shame, because none of your character sheets say that. So, with that in mind, who's ready to jump into session 37?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
1 minute. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. The valiant and bold find no rest. Thanks to the intervention of the Warhounds, the citizens of the western districts of Suzail, often overlooked by those with the power to protect them, have been saved. Thanks to a chance encounter and subsequent meetings with an old Githyanki Kithrak named Cutter-Noth and Gandrahas the Mage Royal, a plan has been concocted to disrupt the machinations of Zinaleth, the hunter who hates. Currently hovering over the city of Suzail in her flagship, the Adler Shah, Cutter-Noth has warned of Zinaleth's horrifying plan to prevent further Mind Flayer expansion. She intends on using the devastating elemental weapon designed by the vengeful Githzerai, Azarad, to utterly wipe out the city below and starve the Illithids of food. In the face of total annihilation, there is but one glimmer of hope, and they call themselves Warhounds Limited.
We call ourselves Warhounds Unlimited because there's nothing that we can't do.
True.
So, we find the Warhounds in or outside the War Wizards College?
Depends on how
Is it a sunny day or is it not a sunny day?
It is a very orange day.
Yeah, it's cloudy with a chance of dragon.
Yes. Yes, yeah, very, very, very orange day. The sky, but the sky overhead you can see is gloriously blue, but it is closer towards the horizon, is tinged with a kind of a deep reddish orange that mixes with the smell of crackling firewood that kind of brushes against your nose, scratches against your nostrils, and you click. And overhead, shadows are cast by the myriad of Githyanki ships that kind of orbit around the large double-hulled vessel of the hull of what you now know to be called the Adler Shah, the flagship of Zinalef, the hunter who hates. As you kind of find yourselves kind of looking around, you can see that the war wizards in the college behind you are kind of around the college are busying themselves making kind of preparations. I believe you've discussed with Gandrahast, the Mage Royal, your plans. There is a plan to
Plans.
Sure. Magnus kind of studies the skies, and sort of like between you can see that there are the silhouettes of dragons kind of hovering and kind of gliding around some of the ships above. And he turns to you and, no, I've not fought many dragons, but you might need a little bit more oomph if you're heading up there, he says. I think Aaron's probably back at the Six Candles. If we rendezvous there, we can have a word with him, and then we'll have some time to sort out some more provisions, get a few more tricks under our belt.
Right.
Okay.
Let's go. Chop.
Go.
Okay. So,
Wait.
yes.
Don't the war wizards have anything to give us? Like, I don't know, magic luck or something.
Is the Major or whatever the heck his name is around?
Gandrahast.
Gandrahast.
Gandrahast is lurking nearby. As an aside, as you emerge from the meeting room, Gandrahast would have inquired into the topics of discussion with your meeting with this Githyanki knight. Were you planning on, like, did you want to fill in Gandrahast with some of the details, or keep it close to the chest?
The agreement is, if we get rid of the thingy, you have to give them the Temple of the War Wizards, the College of War Wizards. Non-negotiable. It's the only thing they'll do to get the Githyanki out of the skies.
Yeah, they want your staff as well.
That as well. And oddly, your robes, for some reason, they really need your robes as well.
But they
All
use
Like
them
all
now.
your robes.
All
They want them now.
Absolutely. And you can't get any new robes.
The Mage Royal rolls his eyes and looks to the adult in the group, Hiram.
Here I'm just gonna say. Long story short, we are gonna get some help from the Githyanki. One side of the Githyanki. They're going to help us get up the ship. Somehow, you're gonna overthrow their current leader, get them on our side, and then we can deal with the actual problem, which is the. Yeah, you know.
Telepathically in the back of Hero's mind, he says, "And say his robes."
Hiram is going to just lightly hit Kaitra over the head.
Okay. Gandrahast.
Also, while we are here, can you do some kind of a magic thing to make this brooch, go, let that wing green? Time magic, something. Juice up.
Gandrahast looks at it and that looks like nothing more than some ancient old family relic. I've no idea. There's next to no magical potential in that.
You have been absolutely useless all this time. You are the Mage Royal. Surely there is something you can do apart from teleporting things here and there.
No, what do you specialize in? What's your
I specialize in the protection of the realms from forces, both seen, unseen, and extraplanar. Now, if you
but
excuse
except
for the
me-
ones that are seen above us.
If you excuse
Yes.
me, I have a date with the Githyanki fleet, which I intend to banish. Thank you very much,
Was that
Warhounds.
your major?
Thoroughly
I think he
unimpressed.
likes us.
Thoroughly unimpressed, he leaves without providing you any further aid.
He's a mage royal pain in the butt.
So yes, Gandra has kind of leaves a number of as he goes, you see him kind of barking out orders to some of the Magnus recognizes as some of the higher level, like more powerful wizards.
Agnes, have you thought about maybe running for Mage Royal? I feel like it would be better.
Magnus looks around and no, far too much effort.
Are you sure? Because we have many. Apparently now we are in the habit of getting rid of leaders from where they are.
Magnus ponders it and no, it's bad company, just anyway.
All I'm saying is say the word and a scandal could be afoot.
Magnus considers your proposition and then shakes his head. Shall we be off then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So you make your way back to the Six Candles on the other side of town, and so as you go, you can see that certainly on this side of the city, the fighting is beginning to kind of slow down and stop. It seems to be becoming more under control. You see that on the eastern side of the city, like whilst the city is burning, and that is very clear to see from the pillars of smoke which rise up from the rooftops, from the skyline. It seems that the Githyanki attack is largely beginning to kind of peter out over there as well, and it appears that the Astral Pirates are kind of heading back to their ships to regroup or begin counting their looted winnings. But yes, you make it back to the Six Candles. You can see a number of now it's a lot safer. A number of civilians are out in the streets, kind of tidying things away, helping those in need, kind of shifting rubble, and there seems to be this kind of largely kind of group communal feeling that kind of radiates through the area. The Six Candles itself has gotten away relatively lightly, although there is a rather impressive scorch mark along the front, and the windows have cracked under the heat. But as you open the doors, you can see the red-headed barmaid Rosalina behind the bar, almost as if her day hasn't been affected in the slightest. "Hello," she says.
All right there.
So you all begin to filter in, and if you're welcome to kind of take seats around the bar. Rosalina kind of looks to you and here, are those dragons gone now?
Well, they're not.
Sort of.
Sort of, right. And she like looks to the bottles of kind of flammable spirits that line her walls, and well, I mean, I know you're like the heroes and stuff, but if you could if you could get them to shoe on sooner rather than later, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Having mentioned that, have you seen Arian Fox?
The handsome one with the pretty eyes, yeah?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, he's around here somewhere, she says. And as you ask that, you hear a voice call up from the basement, the cellar. Did someone call? And a number of figures emerge from the stairs, led by Aaron, the Purple Dragon Knight. And from where you're, like, as you kind of gather around this table, you can see through a doorway into the adjacent room, and sat around sat around another table, a table in the next room over, is a group of 6 adventurers who you collectively know to be the Warhounds, the War Dogs.
Oh, no, even you are making that mistake.
Them again.
Yes.
Soon never take over.
Aaron looks to you and what's up? He says, and you can see he looked quite kind of battered and bruised from your previous fight. Did you have much luck up at the War Wizards College?
Yes. How do you feel about getting us a couple of griffins? So we can
need to-
fly up to the ship and dethrone the current leader.
We need some chickens.
Yeah, your biggest, meanest looking ones.
I mean,
I would
Maybe
use my
more than
own,
just 2.
but
Maybe paint them red to look like dragons.
I can get you some hippogriffs.
that's it. Yes, thank you.
Same thing.
Something that flies.
Okay, so
Yeah, sorry we got confused. The griffin is mine.
I see.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work at the moment.
Aaron nods. You're planning on flying up. Where
No,
are you headed?
we're planning on getting the hippogriffs because we want to fly as far away as possible.
I see.
Yeah.
Aaron looks at you with a smirk.
There's clear sarcasm on her face.
Aaron looks at you with a smirk, and well, I suppose all good things come to an end. I suppose he says, looking at you. Even brave adventurers like you, Warhounds.
Yes, Azael had its time.
Well, I can provide you with hippogriffs, so long as they're used to protect the city. It's less paperwork for me in that situation. We'd have to wait a little while. I'd have to make my way out to Jester's Green to pick them up from the garrison.
I go with you.
You can if you want. I mean, it won't be a very entertaining adventure, and if there's anything else that you need to prepare here, then you might be better suited staying in the city.
I mean, I would like to find a sword.
That is.
I feel like
yeah,
punching things in the face is not really my style.
you can use my cutlass if you like. I'm not really using it, but it's
I mean,
maybe
I
a bit
do
small
have
for you.
this- let me try.
Yeah, somebody will just pull his spare cutlass out and chuck it over to Hiram.
Hiram, as your halfling companion throws over a cutlass, it dawns on you that whilst this thing has been on Zumbo's belt since the day you've met him, it does not appear to have been unsheathed once.
Yeah, it's sort of heavily notched. It's clearly is like more of a show weapon, like a ceremonial. I'm a pirate. I need to have a cutlass kind of deal.
Has Zumbo been looking after it? Because we have been like underwater, in water, etc.
I think this is the first time he's taken it out of its sheath
Wow.
since you met him.
Can I actually unsheath at all? Is there some rusting going on?
There's some distinct seawater rusting, like sea air rusting. It takes a couple of to finally kind of unlodge the blade, and it makes like a real high pitched screech as you unsheath it, and everyone kind of shudders.
I get the same problem every time I get in seawater. Same issues. Gotta put some oil on it.
Oh, it's not Argentus, but that is a fine blade, Hiram.
Magnus?
Yeah, well, Magnus turns to you, yes?
I mean, I can only assume you're doing this for like the laughter here, but you did say you were going to sort something out.
Yes. Yeah, I've got a couple ideas. It might require me to, be a bit clandestine, which given everything that's happened, I find myself becoming more and more proficient in secrecy. You understand? So, if there's nothing else you need of me, then I could.
Yeah, go deal with your spy network.
Okay, marvelous. Yeah. It's a very good spy network. And
Wait, how do you plan to get the hippogriff back to us without, the dragons noticing that are circling around this entire city?
Aaron, so Helenus actually steps forward, and we've been watching the the Githyanki forces, and they seem to be primarily concerned with what's happening within the city walls. Although they're up there, they don't seem to be paying much attention to people traveling around the outside of the walls. I guess it's more efficient in terms of looting and raiding to be attacking targets within the city.
So, when it comes to the hippogriffs being arranged, should you contact us to let us know so we can come and get the hippogriffs, or?
Aaron thinks about it, and whilst it might be a little bit difficult to get them back in the city, I've got a few tricks. And these hippogriffs are all trained, so as long as I'm leading them, we can keep relatively low to the ground and hopefully away from any kind of roaming Githyanki eyes.
All right then.
So as Aaron turns to leave, the two men stop. Magnus double checks. Is there anything that you want me to do before I go off?
Call your parents.
I'm a bit busy, Katya.
Magnus, could you find us a scroll of Featherfall? Just in case.
He smiles and this is what I have a clandestine spy network for.
Yeah.
And I know it may be a sore subject for a lot of people still, but maybe some alchemist fires for each of us.
Magnus stops for a moment and we'll have a little look. Axakas, in fact, the red-skinned kind of tiefling woman, she turns and if you can find me the reagents in a couple of hours, I'm sure I could concoct something for you.
Oh, what do we need?
She...
An alchemist and some fire.
Yes.
You set an alchemist on fire and just push their ashes into a vial.
So Axakas looks to you and she kind of she takes out some parchment and a pen. She begins writing down some ingredients. These, if you can get me these, I'm sure that I can combine them with some of the spirits donated to us by the lovely Rosalina, and we can have some improvised alchemist fire. It might not burn as long as the real stuff, but in a pinch, it will burn.
Slate will definitely grab that. Probably snatch it without meaning to.
Sure.
Just that's kind of something that Slate knows.
Sure.
About.
Okay. So yeah, there's a list of kind of alchemical ingredients on it. Luckily, none of them are kind of exotic, but if anyone wishes to kind of peruse a local, you might have to go into a different part of town, but anyone that wants to go look for these agents in shops or bazaars around the city, you'll be able to find them without any real problem. Okay, so who would like to go alchemist fire shopping?
Slate. That's one thing they know.
Definitely a job for Slate.
Okay, cool. In which case, so Magnus and Aaron have now left the tavern. Slate, you are ready to find some explosives. So, the war dogs kind of look over to you. Malka specifically ducks her head as she steps through the doorway. She has to almost kind of bend almost 90 degrees at the waist to fit through these standard human-sized door frames. And she says, is there anything that we can do to help?
Not sure.
Depends how many griffins Pretty Boy brings back, I suppose. Welcome to come with us.
They could, or it would be nice to have a grind group looking out for the citizens of Cizel while we are up there, just in case things go wrong.
Malka,
Did they? Sorry, I know I'm not here, but did they go to the Stalwart Adventurers and sort that out?
They did, yeah.
Very good call. Yes, they did. She nods, and I think that would be wise. We have not long since returned from the Society of the Stalwart Adventurers, and it is burnt to the ground. I don't
Oh, dear.
I don't know how many unfortunate souls are in the building, but it would seem that the society is primarily scattered to the winds. And as she says that, Helenus and Axicas kind of stick their heads around the door, and Helenus blinks. Wait, what did you say? And as you all look, you vividly remember that the first time you met Helenus and Axicas was at the head of a group of stalwart adventurers.
Oh dear.
And Helenus's face is a picture of utter distraught distress. Did you find? Were there any survivors? There must have been. They're all powerful adventurers in there. There must have been someone. Helenus begins kind of stumbling over her words and rambling, and Malka, shrugs her shoulders very slowly, and I'm sorry. When we were there was naught but fire and ash. There was fighting in the streets, but it primarily looked like purple dragons. We can only hope that if there were stalwart adventurers nearby, that perhaps they are elsewhere in the city, helping to defend Suzail. And like Helenus's eyes go dark, and thank you. And you watch as she slowly kind of walks across the tavern, takes a seat at the bar, and like her shoulders are sunk, and you can see Axicas, like her glassy black eyes following Helenus as she leaves. And Malka sighs. This day takes a heavy toll on us all.
I guess we wait. Do we get a short rest in then?
We already had one at the
We've
thing.
had one.
Yeah,
Do we?
had a short
Yes.
rest.
Can I
You shortly
reuse one of my
rested.
features so to get back some spell slots?
Yes, absolutely. Is okay. So, yeah. Tabula wafts out of the side room.
I could travel like that.
So as
Just
he
waft in somewhere.
wafts into the room.
If there is anything of interest or usefulness, we can find you within the city. We are more than prepared to fetch it for you. Any magical consumables or anything that you feel would tip the scales of battle.
Well, I don't know if there's a library somewhere that might have a section on the Githyanki, but if you can get like a blueprint on those ships, I appreciate that ship might not look like all other Githyanki ships, but I know a thing or two about ships, and if I can see some blueprints, I might be able to steer it when we get on there. We'll work out how to. It'd just be handy to know how it all works, or at least have a rough idea.
Sure. This kind of disembodied shape, this disembodied robe shape, kind of nods.
We can head to the Temple of Cormyr on the other side of the city. We will find the information there, I suspect.
Someone's probably backing away from it, slightly unnerved, but yeah. Thanks.
Because as Tabula speaks to you, you notice that this figure is just kind of floating ever so slightly closer to you with every passing moment, like really kind of invading your personal space.
It's probably like skirting around the table, trying to keep the table between him and.
Another voice comes out and when we were coming back from the Stalwart Societies, Bodger says as he steps in, we noticed that there was this like magic emporium type shop. Didn't look like there was much on the shelves, and a lot of it looked like a load of took. But I noticed that it seemed to have been all the shops around it have been ransacked, but this place still had a few things in it. I think it was, I can't remember that, Waldo Sons, I think it was called. If it's some sort
Been a while.
if it's some sort of exotic emporium, there might be some useful stuff in there that might be of useful to you.
Yeah, let's go there. Sure, we can requisition some stuff.
Bodger looks around. Well, if McFloaty over is into the library, some of us can always detour off to go have a look in the emporium for you.
I'll go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, then. Come on, big guy, he says. I'll show
Want me
you.
to hold you? Should I pick you up?
No, get off. He slaps your hand away. And as you...
I don't mind. It's okay. Listen, put you on the shoulder.
Get off. So the Warhounds, as Bodger and Balthazar like go to leave, you just hear like you hear Bodger's voice as it trails away. So, tell me, how long have you known Daisy?
Oh, I met her yesterday. Why?
Son of a... Okay, so Balthazar and Slate have left. The Warhounds, sorry, the War Dogs are just kind of floating around. And there's the sounds of wet slaps on the ground.
Ew.
As this befeathered little creature approaches your table. Hello, says Jick, as she kind of pulls up a chair alongside you, Katya, and between Katya and Emily. And this little goblin kind of looks at you. You notice that at some point she's acquired a staff. What she probably presumes to be a staff, but it appears to be just some kind of burnt timber that she's clearly just picked up off the street. And she delicately plonks it, like leans it against the table, and then she kind of sits there grinning at you, like her eyes glowing this kind of bright yellow and pink as she kind of swings her feet, which don't quite reach the floor. Her bare feet, and she looks at you with a smile. And, is this what you do every day?
Pretty much.
It is very exciting. Jig is not at all scared. Jig is brave girl.
Yes, you are, Chick. Yes, you are.
There's a look of uncertainty on her face when she says it, but when you affirm her, she kind of smiles and her eyebrows shoot up. Jig looks to you and will Warhounds save the day?
You've heard the song, haven't you, Chick? Of course we will.
What song?
Oh, dear, Chick.
Gotta play it now.
Well, maybe I'll play it for you later, because there's definitely some verses I'll need to add to it after this.
But Jig want to hear song. Please play song for Jig.
But after song, Katya has some things to do.
Okay.
As she instantly sort of jumps on the chair, 1 foot on the table.
Yeah. Hiram, you notice as Katya jumps up on the table and like Jik has just kind of gone through this emotional roller coaster. Sat next to you, your squire Emily is just looking at Jik with this utter contempt on her face, slowly shaking her head.
What's wrong, Becky?
Emily turns to you, and she doesn't try to kind of be discreet with her voice, but How can someone so useless and pathetic be this powerful? Emily says, this goblin turned 30 odd wizards into wombats. Accidentally.
Think about it this way. If she was not this powerful, would she be alive?
Emily just kind of looks at the drink that she's got. Like she's found someone's drink. She's been sipping it while she haven't been looking. And she just shakes.
Oh, I'm gonna just pluck it out of her hand.
She kind of shakes her head and I maybe. Oh, Emily just can't seem to fathom the raw power in this tiny frame. And Jik is oblivious to this conversation. She's watching Katya, 1 foot on the bar, kind of prancing and dancing. It's presumably you're ripping out Ballo the Warhounds.
I'm fully Eddie Munson right now, just like just shredding that loot, hair shaking everywhere.
I feel like Jake would be trying to sing along without knowing the words or the song, having never heard it before.
Okay.
Jik does, in fact, attempt to sing along, but not knowing the words with disadvantage. It sounds like a cat being trapped behind a door. It's horrendous singing from the goblin. And like this cacophony from behind, like just kind of frames Emily's head here, and she just looks at you with this pleading look.
I give back the drink to her.
Emily looks up to you and, what are you going to tell your grandfather?
About...
Like Emily tilts her head and smirks, gives you that.
I am trying very hard not to think about it at the moment. Let's survive the Githyanki first, the hunter, and then I will burn that bridge when I get to it.
Emily nods and she thinks about it, and you've carried that sword for so long, and so many people recognize you because you carry an icon of House Silversword, and she points at the brooch that's got a little red light on it on your chest, but your history is so much more than Silversword. I mean, you're part Roaring Horn as well. And
between the two of us, I really appreciated when my grandmother gave me this, and it's very helpful. And I loved Argentus. It's been very, very helpful. But something that nobody in my family seems to understand is that I left because I didn't want to be either of those things. I didn't want to be defined by my family name. Like, I don't want to be here. I want to be here. I don't want to be Lord Silversword. I don't want to be Lord anything. If I achieve something in this life, I want it to be because of who I am, not because of what, if basically an accident put me into what house.
Emily thinks, and then she kind of, it's a bit weird to see, but she nods approvingly. I think
At first,
I think your greatest achievement will be to let them all know who Hiram Kath Silversword is, off the back of your own merits. And who knows, there might be more stories that you, and she waggles a finger at you, have to tell. And then she stops, like she pulls her face and, I've spent too much time around bloody bards, she says.
It's
Oh, no,
almost,
that was
almost
appreciated.
as almost she says that, Katya steps on the back of the chair and it tips back, and she manages to land on the floor, slide off, and carry on.
In which case, yeah, as you do that, you hear this kind of raucous applause. Yes, oh yes, from the doorway as this half drow bard strolls in from the other room. Exquisite performance, marvelous! Shouts Midnight Raven.
I'll take it.
This drow just kind of watches you. So Zumbo, you turn and you see this kind of drow bard, and he kind of pulls the fringe away from his left eye, and there's this kind of dreamy look in his eyes as he watches Katya performing.
And Zumbo just like gently push him back through the doorway and close the door.
As you do, the silent, strong female dwarf, Mirren, you see her smirk as you close the door behind in kind of Midnight Raven's face. Okay.
As Katya sort of finishes the song, she sort of like stops and thinks for a second, and she's like, "Oh," and she goes to Axakas. Axakas, you're you said you can make the alchemist fire, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I was reminded of a story about something else. How good are you identifying alchemy potions?
She ponders. There are two ways to identify alchemy potions: either through alchemy kits or you just drink it.
Are there any alchemy shops around here that may have taken some damage?
Quite possibly. Were you thinking of doing some light shopping?
Let's call it shopping for now, yes.
Ah, good.
Ever since my time on the pirate ship, I've just, changed person.
Axakas...
Some single tear, just pride, just...
Axakas smiles, and... Life is too short for etiquette, she says. Come, Miss Donahue, let us go shopping, says the tiefling. And her hooves clack as she kind of leads you across the tavern.
And as they're leaving, it's like, one thing I was thinking about is, I've definitely made Hiram move faster, but what happens if we make everyone move faster? And I imagine that's as the door closes.
So yeah, as the door closes, well, so as you're saying this and you're leaving, those of you still in the tavern watch as Axakas places like a gentle hand on the shoulder of Helenis at the bar, and just kind of lets her hand slide across her shoulder as they leave, as she leaves with you. Okay, so Hiram and Zumbo, you're the only Warhounds left in the Six Candles. Is there anything of kind of note that you'd like to prepare, or are you happy to wait for everyone to kind of come back and do their thing?
Yeah.
Actually, I think Hiram is going to get up, get 2 pints, put one down in front of Zombo, and sit down next to him, and just...
Yeah, clink glasses and... Here we go again, then.
Here we go again. Hopefully, after this, nothing quite this extreme for a while.
Yeah, even I'm starting to feel like I could do a day off.
We really need... I really wanted that spa day. For a second when we got the towels and everything, I was like, finally! No one is burning down the building. I can have just a nice hour. I don't have to worry about fighting when I can finally get properly clean. And but no.
Yeah, I've only just stopped being scared of baths.
Yeah, I
Wouldn't
imagine.
mind actually enjoying one.
You know what? If after this, if you all survive, we need to take you to a spa. It's life-changing, I tell you.
Alright, I'll take your word for it. It's a deal.
Have you two got any thoughts on the upcoming mission?
I think Zumbo's just waiting for everyone to get back. He's got a speech, a story that he's going to share to rile everyone up. But he wants everyone to be back for that.
Sure. Okay. I mean, in which case, as the two of you kind of cheers your drinks against one another, and you kind of appreciate the calm before the storm. Like, hours have passed, and the bell of the Six Candles door kind of rings as the door opens, and a number of people come back in. So everyone you have returned from your respective missions. So Slate, if I can have a survival check, please, because you managed to find the find kind of an appropriate shop. It was just a case of figuring out if you could safely identify what it was you were picking up.
Okay. Just as a note, I'm not planning on paying for any of this.
Oh no, I'm well aware.
Okay. Oh dear. Is there surely some sort of thing I can use, or should it not be an advantage? Because, I have got proficiency with a herbalism kit.
You have got inspiration. So when you first arrived at the shop,
I have got inspiration. Yes.
Yeah. So when you first arrived at the shop, you notice that the vast majority of it seemed to have been kind of ransacked already, and a lot of the materials and reagents have been spoiled or burnt. Sure. But yeah, you are more than welcome to roll again with your inspiration.
I will. Oh, for God's sake.
Okay. Yeah, they really are burnt and ransacked. But no, that's fine. So you are able to gather enough materials for Axicast to make 2 alchemist fires.
It's definitely better than none. Yeah. Or one. Is it possible that Slate could have looked around for a grappling hook attachment for a crossbow as well? Pew pew. Pew.
Give me.
Pew pew. Pew pew. Pew.
Give me an investigation check.
Great, this is one of my strongest ones.
You're so consistent, Elle. Great.
You managed to find a large fishing hook and some rope.
Oh yeah, that sounds very like Slate. Great.
Fishing hook.
Like a large one. Like a one for catching whales. It's a big fishing hook and a rope. Which, grappling hook. Job done. So I'll put grappling hook ?
Which is probably what it looks like as well, a giant question mark.
Yes. Okay, so that is Slate. Balthazar, you went with Bodger to Waldo's. Okay. Sorry, yes. So you return with Bodger. So Bodger wasn't wrong. This Emporium, Waldo Sons and Sons, appeared to have been kind of largely looted. But if you give me an investigation check.
I shall do 16.
Okay. So you found
potions of fire resistance.
So you found 4.
Yeah.
So they were labeled 4 vials of emergency escape. You notice there appears to be a fuse coming off the top of them.
Right. I mean, they will make you immediately disappear. So.
Emergency escape. Okay.
Fantastic.
You also found an expanding rug. Which?
What do you mean expanding rug?
Well,
put it on the floor and it's bigger than it.
This is what Bodger asks as he picks. There were 2 expanding rugs, and you can't help but giggle at the thought that when Bodger went, "What the hell was an expanding rug?" and the halfling picks it up, pulls the tab on it, and this kind of package that the halfling are holding just kind of exploded into a large kind of 10-foot cheap fabricy rug, which the halfling was trapped under. And it took a good minute or so for this halfling to kind of crawl his way from underneath it, because he was just kind of help. And it appeared to be almost like an expanding net. It seemed to work. It was almost.
Right, grab one of those and some form of bomb/grenades.
Last but not least, Katya and Exakas, you go shopping. If I could have let's both of us do investigations. Way, double 18.
Hey.
Double 18. Okay. So, as you're looking across the,
Remember, Axelcast, the good shit is usually out the back or in the basement. We don't have the rare stuff out on the shop.
She smiles and, oh, I know. And she steps past the charred corpse of the shopkeeper, and she kind of pulls her face as she steps past them.
We will avenge you. I'm sorry.
And yeah, Axakas kind of walks up to the back door, and it seems to be locked. And she kind of looks around. Everything's kind of burnt out on the inside. It looks like this shop bore the brunt of a direct dragon breath attack. And she pulls out her spellbook, flicks through a couple of pages, and she begins incanting some words of power. And then there's a dong noise, and the door unlocks and swings open to the back rooms.
Please say it swings open, and as it opens, it then just goes.
Yes.
It falls over.
Yes. Yeah. You you see kind of magic glyphs disappear on the side of this door, and then as it swings open, it then comes off its hinges. But yes, Axakas kind of hoiks her skirt up as she kind of delicately steps over, and you see that thankfully the room in the back is largely being protected by an arcane ward. Largely some of the potion bottles have been knocked off the shelves, but everything looks kind of relatively intact. And you see Axakas's eyes kind of light up as she looks at you with this mischievous grin. Off the back of double 18.
She puts her arm around her shoulder and is like, "Ooh, I think we've hit jackpot."
So Axakas looks around and this is it. And she picks up this bottle and she holds it like a bottle of vintage wine. And she kind of studies it. She pops the cork slightly. She swills it, pops the cork, takes a sniff, sticks her finger in, dips her finger in, and just kind of wipes it on the back of her wrist and smells it. And you probably want some of these, she says. And she hands you 3 potions of fire resistance.
Hey. Yes.
Nice.
She kind of rubs it. The smell as she throws it to you is quite kind of sulphurous. But it's peculiar as she kind of rubs it onto her wrist like a perfume. The smell becomes peculiarly sweet as she wears it like a perfume. And looking around, and was there any potion in particular you were after, Miss Donahue?
I was wondering. It may be a long shot, but either maybe some potions of speed or a potion of the storm giant's strength. I read stories about a great hero who saved the entire town as he lifted up the gates, because he just chugged a potion and lifted up the gate, but
She kind of begins looking through the potions, kind of carefully stepping over the broken glass underfoot, and alas, it is not a potion of stone giant. Will frost giant do?
as long as it has giant in the name.
The tiefling plucks this kind of cuboid vial out of sort of from behind a box that had kind of fallen off a shelf, and then she very kind of casually throws it to you. And as you catch it, and like she's just kind of whistling to herself as she looks around, and now if I she looks at you and Katya, darling, you might want to step out of the room. And you watch as this tiefling kind of picks up 2 potions and pours half of them out onto the floor. And she you see like as you leave the room, you see her very delicately kind of begin pouring one potion into the other, and like she closes one eye and grimaces. You hear the sound of liquid trickling in, and then there's a boom, the sound of a cork kind of going into a bottle, and there's the sound of liquid shaking. There's a pause. Works every time, she says. And as she hands you this 5th potion bottle, you notice that the liquid inside does not appear to be made up of the colours of the 2 potions that went into it. You also notice it is bubbling very vigorously. And looking at it, it almost looks like there's streaks of kind of white lightning kind of fizzing between some of the bubbles. And anyone who drinks that will have a real pep in their step.
Nice.
You hear some kind of commotion outside, and the tiefling looks at you, and I suggest we head back. We do not want to outstay our welcome. Yes?
Correct. I think we did. And she holds out a hand. I think we did good.
Axakas has her back to you as you say that, and then you kind of startle a bit as you see her tail kind of raise up to your hand, and she shakes your hand with her kind of pointed tail. Yes, correct. So 3 potions of fire resistance, a potion of frost giant strength, and a potion of speed, a potion of wee. So
go juice.
Yes, you head back as well, and as you find yourselves all back in the 6 candles. As Aaron hasn't returned, and you've spent the vast majority of the day, and you can see the sun beginning to dip towards the horizon. You suspect that, you know, because you've been to Jester's Green in the past, how long it will take Aaron to get to and then return from Jester's Green. So, is there anything you wish to do before you try and get some rest in the 6 candles?
I think Kazumbo and Hiram have just been like drinking for a couple of hours, haven't they?
Yeah.
So Zumbo's probably been trying to keep up with someone twice his size, so he's probably like head down on the table by the time everyone gets back. But startled awake and bangs his flagon on the table to get everyone's attention, and then kind of unsteadily lifts himself up onto the chair.
Before you do, if the 2 of you have been drinking, can I ask for a Constitution save from the 2 of you, please?
Yeah.
Because you've spent some time bonding.
Plus, being in Kieran's presence, it means you get a +3 on your.
Yes,
that's true. Yeah.
That's true.
You're the guy to drink around.
Yeah. Said. That's unnatural. What? I am keeping that. I don't care if I keep the happy spray shot, but I am keeping that. Okay. That's just hilarious.
So.
Oh god.
Right. So. You say you're trying to keep up with the half-orc twice your size, but actually, Zumbo, off the back of your...
He doesn't normally drink.
Yeah, right. Zumbo, something you realise very quickly, and presumably you exploit for Juicy Goss. But off the back of your bonding, before you get a chance to stand up and talk, Zumbo, as you pass your Constitution save, you remember the stories and tales shared between you. So you receive you may receive the benefits of a bless on your next roll.
Oh,
You'll get the benefits of some blesses. And Hiram, you're so sozzled that you will receive a ever so slight damage reduction in the upcoming conflict.
Oh,
you've damaged your nerve endings.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So, everyone, you return. You find Hiram just kind of looking a bit bleary-eyed, like leaning back in his seat, kind of tilted against a nearby pillar. Zumbo, as everyone kind of gathers around and takes a seat, you can take the stage.
How many beers have you had?
Yes.
Shush. Balthazar, shush. Right. And he'll bang his thing on the table again.
I mean, who cares? You need the alcohol because I'm going to openly headbutt my way through all situations now, so I don't want to feel that.
Yeah, man. Quieten down, right?
What are you doing, Zumbo?
No.
Now, Warhounds, I know we don't know what we're expecting up there, and I know it's scary. Matter of fact, it reminds me of this time that we raided the ghost ship, and the crew was so petrified they refused to swing across. Well, I had to blindfold them all, of course, so that they wouldn't see the ghost. That's not the point I'm making. I don't think we should go up there blindfolded. But what it taught me was that you got to focus not on what scares you, but on the people you're with, the people you depend on. And that's, he's swaying as he says this. That's what we got to do too. So I just want you all to know I'm relying on each of you up there, and I trust you all. Let's go earn ourselves another song, eh?
Warhounds. Warhounds.
Clap, clap,
Warhounds.
clap, clap, clap.
Warhounds.
We love you too, Zumbo.
Hounds.
Okay.
Hounds.
Very
As-
nice.
Come on.
As
Join in
you
the chant.
As Zumbo finishes his speech and Katia, you try to start a Warhounds, and like everyone's like, yay! Like looking at Zumbo. From the next room, you hear Warhounds, Warhounds. And as you turn to look, you see the war dogs beginning to bang their fists on the table and
Oh.
chant it. You hear Warhounds, Warhounds, Warhounds.
Can we shout war dogs back? War dogs, war dogs, war dogs.
As you all kind of as you psych yourselves up and you start chanting one another's team names,
Nice.
I just start shouting slate, 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 slate.
you take this the chanting becomes this kind of raucous song as you feel your kind of spirits uplifted, partly because of Zombo's speech. And as you all kind of grab your drinks and you smash them together over the table, you may all take the benefits of a long rest.
Hey.
Boring.
Oh.
Boring, Dan.
It is not.
What?
It is not a new day, however,
No.
Oh, for God's sake.
and we will take a 10-minute break.
Okay.
Cool. See you all soon.
I want new spells.
Cool.
Cool.
See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
See ya.
In a bit.
Hey, Katja, I have a song for you. I think you can add it to Battle of the Warhounds. Want to hear it?
You wrote a song, Balthazar? That's amazing. Let's sing it. I'll count you in. A 1, a 2, a 1,
Monsters
2.
Abound!
Oh, you started.
Warhounds! Go for a dive! Like and subscribe! Lost and found? Warhounds! Nowhere to hide? Like and subscribe!
Oh, well, that doesn't really follow the ABC.
Second
Oh,
verse!
started
No one
again.
around? Warhounds! Pay a bribe! Like and
okay.
subscribe! What are we
I
called?
should go.
Warhounds!
I
Kill a
gotta
goblin tribe!
go.
Like and subscribe!
Welcome back, everybody.
Good to be back.
We have,
again.
after much deliberation, we have agreed to have a long rest. and the Warhounds find themselves on the precipice of a busy day.
He says that we kind of did force him into it.
So we return to the Warhounds as you wake up from your various corners of the Six Candles, because if nothing else, of all the things that Six Candles are, an inn is not one of them. But as you kind of all begin to piece yourselves together and you stumble about, stretching and cracking your joints back into place, you hear a commotion outside. And it sounds... You hear... What? Actually, Katya, whereas you're normally one of the last to wake up in any given moment, you're actually rudely woken by the sound of the most horrendous sounding cockerel you've ever heard. This high, screeching call. And as you look out the window, you see Aaron Fox holding the reins of 5 hippogriffs, and he looks tired.
Nice.
He looks very, very tired. He kind of trusts up he ties up the reins of the hippogriffs to a nearby to one of the pillars holding up the roof of the Six Candles. And he lets out a loud whistle, like a wolf whistle, to alert you all to his presence and to summon you outside.
Katya I imagine everyone's kind of sort of plastered on the table. Katya, I imagine, managed to get the seat here. Katya walks up to the table nice and softly, apart from Balthazar, obviously, and just starts bang, 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 bang.
Oh, what?
Good
Oh, ow.
morning. Good morning, my friends in the Warhounds. Our ride has arrived.
Quick, Imam, eat your breakfast, and I'll slide a flagon of beer over to.
Oh, good. No, thank you. I'm good.
So,
Oh, I really want something greasy.
as you all gonna stand up, Hiram, you have to kind of reattach your shoulder plate because for some reason that came off at some point in the evening. Actually, you have to lift it off of Emily's head because she's wearing it like a helmet. And you stagger out. You notice that the sun hasn't even really risen over the horizon. The sky overhead is it's that beautiful dawn twilight period of time. You can see the orange hues beginning to kind of tickle over the edges of the horizon. But as you step out of the tavern, so sure enough, you see Aaron stood with his arms crossed, and there's this smirk on his face. Stood next to him is Raedra Oberskir.
Oh, God.
And she peers at you inquisitively as you all kind of stumble out of the Six Candles. I see you had a good night. Hiram shakes his head. The Raedra Raedra kind of carries on and says, "I've been speaking with Captain Fox here, and he's informed me of your plans to assault the flagship, the Adler Shah.
Yeah.
These hippogriffs are for the 5 of you," she says, kind of looking at the 5 Warhounds primarily. Given how important it is that we get you onto the deck of that ship, and she looks up at the ship hovering over the palace. We're hoping that you will form the tip of a spear, and Aaron and I will lead the other Hippogriff Knights as a distraction.
We can
We
do
don't
that.
want you. We don't you getting bogged down in the dogfighting. We just want you on that ship. Are there any questions?
I don't think so, Your Highness. We'll go up there and scull it. It's what we do best.
It's dawned on me that Balthazar, you'd be the only sober one, wouldn't you? Like the only non-hungover one.
Are they all drinking, the other ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
so. That's
All
why he's talking.
absolutely bladdered. As it happens, as you say that, you hear a woozy voice from behind you, Balthazar. Balthazar, says Daisy. She kind of stags out, holding her palm to her forehead. Are you heading off to save the day, Balthazar?
Oh, Daisy, were you drinking it too?
Everyone was drinking, Balthazar.
Oh, I forgot.
Ev-
Yeah, we gotta go.
She kind of nods gently so as not to move her head too much, and as you pick her up, she
give her a hug.
and she
we'll be back.
very kind of nonchalantly, with her head swaying, she just kind of gives you a little peck on the side of the visor. And then you plonk her down, and she stags in. And are you drinking that? She says as she kind of takes a flagon that's kind of hanging limply from Axakas's hand.
What's with everyone on the second-hand drinks?
So yeah, Aaron looks to you, and so next to Aaron as well, I should mention, is Magnus. So Magnus looks to you, and I'll be down on the ground primarily, coordinating any fallout from anything that happens to fall from the skies and doesn't die on impact. But good luck up there, Warhounds. He says. Raedra nods. Aaron nods. And who is, of your various potions, who is being given what? Because you will not be able to swap once you're in the air.
Catcher basically like, Captain!
Yeah, Katya, please don't shout.
Sorry. She takes one of the vials out with sleight of hand, spins it to then hold it to you bottle side.
What does this do?
I'm told by Axakas this should give you a little pep when you need it, but watch out. When it runs out, you'll end up a little bit like Hiram once I jiggle with his brain's chemicals to make him go faster. But
When you do what?
when I make you go brr.
Yeah, well, thanks, Katya. I certainly feel like I need some pep this morning.
Use it when you need it, because when you get going, you'll be like Hiram when he becomes like the owlbear on Heat.
What?
Hang on, Katya. I'm not that old. what are you giving me?
It'll just look. It just tires you out when it's done. Okay, just be careful. Use it wisely.
All right. Where's Tabula anyway? She got my blueprints that I asked for. And he's looking around for the creepy shadow.
Last I saw it was literally putting bottles into its face. I think it is very hungover right now.
So, Zumbo, if you peer back inside the six candles, you see that on the on the tables, drink sodden, are a number of kind of sketches of these astral ships, and looking at them, like what you can make out as the inks kind of run is that the vast majority of the ships are small, like smaller than sloop size. They're designed for really, carry a small handful of Githyanki soldiers to kind of get in, get out. It's small enough that the ship could almost take part in an assault itself as well, without kind of getting bogged down. But yeah, it seems that unlike the ships of the sea that you're used to, these ones would be, they're almost like attack ships.
Yeah,
attack boats.
I'll just scoop up the blueprints and put them in my coat pocket later.
Sure. Okay.
Katya hands the square potion to Hiram, which seems to have like a toenail floating in it. I'm told that's the toenail of a frost giant, and that's what makes the potion work. You do need to drink the whole thing, but you will have the strength of a frost giant.
Thanks. I hate it.
Strength of a frost giant, Hiram.
It's a toenail catcher.
But strength of a frost.
Do you have
Giant.
any idea how
Frost
close I am to
giant.
throwing up on you as it is? You want me to drink toenail water?
Why is everyone so ungrateful? I bring everyone magic potions and I get like.
I am
told
very
off.
grateful, but I'm also just not. Oh, just never mind. I feel like I'm forgetting something, by the way.
She spins a bottle of fire resistant to slate. I know you can turn into a fire elemental anyway, but this might help. Especially if a dragon tries to breathe on us. Spins the other one. She looks at Balthazar. You can resist fire with magic, can't you?
No.
She hands one to Balthazar. Can you drink?
He can imbibe.
He can oil himself up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just
So she
lather it
has-
up. I've got protection from energy actually, so that can go to Hiram, the potion.
Or you can come back to
Thank
me.
you.
I didn't have any potions.
Yeah,
I gave
Katya
them all
needs it.
away.
Okay, so Balthazar gives the potion back to Katya.
And then she spins the final one, holds out to Emily.
Emily looks a bit confused.
So if a dragon breathe on you, you not disintegrate.
She raises an eyebrow, looks. You watch her eyes as they follow. You follow her eyes as she looks to each of the 5 of you in turn, and then she turns her head to the 5 hippogriffs.
Remain with us.
Well, I assumed you'd be holding on to Hiram's back.
Yeah, Emily. She kind of pulls her face as she takes the fire resistance potion. She takes the potion, but she's making a face at the idea of having to hug Hiram for that kind of a prolonged period of time. But then
In that time-
sorry, go on.
In that time as well, I think Slate would go up and go, and I got you this to somehow put on your cross. It will work. Yeah, just
The grappling hook. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you've all got those in your respective inventories. So Emily has a impromptu crossbow bolt grappling hook. Emily
That's
looks up
gonna
to you.
end well.
Emily looks up to you, Hiram, as she's holding this potion, and then she. What about your brooch? She says.
Is it still red? Daniel.
I don't know, Hiram. Did you want to
passive
try and find out?
aggressive.
I mean, did it light up in a different color? You tell me.
I mean, it depends. Are you gonna
I mean,
concentrate on it to...
it's another day, so
I
yeah.
think he's telling you to try it.
Now I don't want to. But no, actually, he's going to like, well, might as well try. And then just, Sailor Moon transformation sequence.
Describe it to me, Hilda.
But the Sailor Moon transformation sequence?
Describe to me what happens when you activate the magic held within the brooch.
I'm not going to lie. All I imagined is just like the Pokeball thing. Light comes out, turns, and the light turns into.
I choose you.
Okay, that's fine. In which case, you all watch Hiram as you clutch the pendant and close your eyes. Light creeps from between the cracks in your fingers, the gaps in your fingers, and from this kind of column of light appears nearby, and a white, like a glowing silhouette begins to materialize from the light. And as you all turn to look, as the column of light disappears, it is replaced with a pure white plumed griffin with glowing kind of sky blue eyes.
By the way, anyone can come up with a really good magical girl transformation. How Hiram gets Battle Shrag out from the brooch. I am open to ideas.
Yeah, leave it in the comments below.
It squeezes out from like a tiny little hole from the brooch.
Anyone who can come up with a better idea than Anton is all welcome.
I think it just squeezes it out.
So, as you all kind of gather, and Hiram, you take a look at Bartoshag for the second time. Emily kind of watches and then turns her head to the fifth hippogriff, and this this evil, mischievous laugh kind of sneaks out from between her lips. Arin looks to you all and, well, if you're going to ride that, then is everyone else ready?
Yeah, can a hippogriff take my weight, by the way?
I got you a big one.
Okay, the biggest, please.
Catcher steps up to Magnus. She's like, Magnus.
Yes.
So we all managed to get things. Aren't you forgetting something?
Oh yes. And
Slides back.
he
Fuck! I forgot my sword, didn't I?
Whispering, good boy.
he he approaches you and this belongs to you, he says, as he hands you your original greatsword.
Oh.
You seem quite proficient with it when I first met you, so perhaps you still remember how to swing this thing.
Yeah, it's better than headbutting things, especially now. Holy shit.
Especially now.
Did you get my scroll?
Did you call your parents?
Did you call your parents?
Did you brush your teeth?
Magnus, as you ask him, Magnus looks at you and, well, yes, I did. And he hands you this scroll. You cast it just like any other spell that you know how to cast.
Okay, it's a special scroll.
Yeah, well, you know how to cast Featherfall, right?
No.
Wow.
Do I need to?
I had to... The things I had to do to get this scroll. And you...
Oh. Okay.
You know what? Keep it. And
Wait, what? How about if you see us falling, can you catch us with the scroll?
Big as the scroll.
Magnus like begins twitching and he takes the scroll off you and
Just needs to stand under the Githyanki ship for the next 8 hours, waiting for us to fall out of it.
He just waits like sees Balthazar falling. Oh no, Balthazar falling. Let me cast that spell. Where did I leave it? I don't know. Do I care?
Magnus, like shaking with indignation, takes a scroll and you hear him muttering, I took the things I did for this scroll, he says.
He murdered a family.
And
stole it from a granny.
Like, Arin, Raedra, stand there just kind of patiently waiting for Magnus to finish having his little breakdown. And Raedra reiterates, are we ready?
Ooh,
yeah.
Hold on.
No.
First, people to say, put their hand up, get some fire. And then, catch it. Well, she does know how to use it.
Very proficiently.
Is that a hand I see with Emily?
Yes, probably.
Almost certainly. Are we giving Alchemist Fire to Emily?
Yes.
I mean, I would
Please.
probably go up to Emily and
why not?
with her.
Okay.
If she can drink, she can use Alchemist Fire.
Yeah.
She's
We've got the best aim out of all of us.
Ever been.
Okay, so...
Also, before we go as well, I want to cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay,
Oh,
cool. Bear that in mind so don't bog up the screen with icons.
I mean, shouldn't need to worry about it, but I guess if we've got 10 minutes, I'll put the chat room on as well.
Yeah, good idea.
We can include Magnus, Arin, and Raedra into it.
Okay. In which case, so this group of 9,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll include him. Okay, brilliant. In which case, Arin hands you the reins to each of you reins to a hippogriff. You notice that they are kind of armored in. They are lightly armored, very similarly to the sort of armor that Arin is wearing. It's a really, yes.
Are they like riding horses?
he thinks about it, and as you look at them, so to describe these beasts, their plumages are all slightly different colors. There's a chestnut, there's a mid brown, a dark brown, a gray. And to describe them would be to say that they are horses with these kind of falcon, hawk type heads, and then these big kind of luscious wings, right, kind of emerging from their flanks. And he thinks about it, and surprisingly so, yes.
Is it
Good.
like riding a wombat?
I couldn't say, actually.
Oh, okay.
But you'll figure it out. They're trained. They'll respond to your commands. Just nudge them in the right direction.
Any chance of a leg up?
Aaron, Raedra, Magnus, they help you up, help you and Emily up onto your steeds. And Hiram, as you climb upon the back of your celestial griffin, and you all look to the skies.
But we're Cormyr's finest. God.
With a shout, your 6 steeds kick up off the ground, and begin making their way up over the rooftops of Suzail towards the ships overhead. As you kind of all begin to learn how to control the steeds and kind of get to grips with the reins and maneuvering them, it doesn't take very long, because the hippogriffs are surprisingly receptive to command, and you're able to kind of lock your legs in and kind of control with both your arms and your legs. As you look to each other and as you rise up into the sky, you can see Aaron and Raedra climb onto the back of hippogriffs down below, and as you kind of get more clearance, you can see that the streets of the western districts are filled with hippogriffs and knights, and as you reach about 100 feet in the air, there is a loud flap from below as entire companies of dragon hippogriff knights rise up off the ground behind you. As you climb higher and higher, it seems that the Githyanki forces are somewhat slow to react. And who do we expect? Which of you have fear of heights?
I mean, I have a goddamn griffin. I don't think I have any.
Maybe
Sure.
Balthazar
I'm sure
probably doesn't like heights.
I'm sure we probably all do after the incident on the ship
Sure.
with the Nautilid.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, you're going to
I was gonna say, I feel like there's no worry about the heights. It's more just the worry of dying that's
yeah, that's
more
fair.
prevalent.
Well, to temper that fear, as the 6 of you make it to approximately 300 feet in the air, and you can see the city of Suzail you can see from side to side of Suzail from this height. You can hear a number of horns and alarms ring through the Githyanki fleet overhead, which appears to be about another 300 feet above you. You watch as you can clearly see that hatches on the flanks of the hull of the Adler Shah open up, and red dragons begin pouring out as some of the Githyanki ships begin kind of maneuvering round and kind of swimming through the sailing through the skies towards you. And as that happens, you see above you a row of dragons begin to descend down with alarming speed towards your positions.
Uh-oh.
As they begin swooping and weaving amongst each other, you can see the dragons kind of like little tufts of flame emerging from the corners of their maws as they look at you hungrily, supported by a number of Githyanki vessels that follow in behind them. So the way this works is that obviously your objective is to get through the blockade and up to basically past 600 feet to the Adler Shah. The tokens on the screen are not representative of individual things. It's just an idea of just to look pretty. Whilst this is almost like it's a bit like a chase that we normally do. You can choose to fly full speed, normally, or evasively. If you fly evasively, you go half speed. If you go full speed, you go double. And your hippogriffs can move 60 feet normally. So you move 30, 60, or 120. Once we've figured out the heights that everyone's at, those people will be grouped, and then each group will have some sort of obstacle or challenge to overcome. And success or failure is determined by the group, not an individual. So if 3 of you are all at the same height, and 2 of you fail, then you all fail, for example.
Cool.
If you move evasively, you get advantage on any kind of checks for the obstacles or challenges. If you move flat out, then you have disadvantage on the checks. If you use an expendable resource to overcome it, then it's either going to be like advantage, or I'll just give you an auto pass. And last but not least, these challenges will be narratively driven. So I will describe what's happening, and then you will tell me how you're overcoming it. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. In which case, Warhounds, astride your flying mounts, will go top to bottom. Balthazar, how fast are you moving?
Normal.
You're moving normal.
What is 60?
Move 60. Okay. And L, how fast is Slate moving?
With the confidence of passing without trace, fast.
Okay. So Slate goes soaring ahead. Katya, how fast is Katya moving?
I imagine she's sort of like, again, screaming that it's nothing like flying, so she kicks heels into the hippogriff and makes it go fast by mistake, screaming the whole way.
Okie dokie. Hiram and Emily?
Normal. Normal for Hiram.
Yeah.
I think Emily would go fast. She strikes me as that kind of person.
She's got a griffin with like racing stripes on it.
Exactly.
And Zumbo?
Going fast, but mostly because he's not worked out how to turn effectively.
Okay. So the younglings all shoot off ahead of the rest of you. As this happens, as you all begin climbing up, Hiram, Balthazar, you watch the others kind of begin to pull ahead of you as the dragons kind of swoop down towards you. You see a number of blue flashes begin firing from the Githyanki ships up above. And they, like Balthazar, as you peer up, you recognize them to be like force ballistas. So ballistas firing bolts of arcane magic at you. The top group at 420 feet in the air. So Zumbo, Emily, Katya, and Slate. As these shots begin raining down towards you, starting with Zumbo, how are you avoiding it?
So Betty, watery tentacles are going to erupt out of Betty, and she's just going to start slapping them out of the air, deflecting them from our path.
Okay, so you're using one of your
tentacle
uses. Okay, yeah. Cool. Emily?
As the flashes go off, can you see a nearby dragon preparing for an attack?
You can see that there's about 7 dragons kind of zoning in on you. And one of them has a glow in its gullet.
She's going to shoot an arrow, her last whopping bolt into its mouth as it's preparing the fire.
Okay, make a roll to hit. Okay, unfortunately, Emily as Emily kind of leans back and fires up, the bolt kind of flies up, but the wadge on the end of the arrow makes it unaerodynamic enough that it doesn't get the height and it just plummets to ground as the dragon swoops in towards you. Katya?
I imagine what Katya will do as the sort of the bolts are coming in. She's just going to be like, "Oh, come on, work." She's going to hold out a hand and with some psychic oomph, I will use the cutting words on the bolt, and basically you see one of the bolts start quivering, and then she just lifts her hand up on the bolt.
Okay. So if you're using one of your features, you automatically pass. Slate, what are you doing about these incoming shots?
So they're already happening. Are they magic?
Yes.
Then I guess I'll go for dispel magic then, please.
Okay. So if you use up that spell slot, you automatically pass. So behind some of the bolts, so Balthazar and Hiram, you see Zumbo, Katya, and Slate do their best to kind of deflect the vast majority of the bolts coming in, but some of them sneak past and towards you. Balthazar and Hiram, what do you do?
What have we got going towards us, though?
So these force ballista shots raining down on you.
I'm going to use Aegis.
Okay, to protect Hiram. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're using that, you automatically pass. Hiram, you'll get advantage as this shield of protection radiates out from Balthazar. But what do you do to? What are you doing in response to these shots?
Can I do an athletics check to dodge them? Just literally like
whoop. Yeah, absolutely. So you can so if you want to use athletics to kind of pull yourself in tight to Buttershark as you start pulling some real tight turns to avoid the bolts, to kind of withstand the G's, and you get advantage because of the Aegis.
Okay, you said advantage. 25.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so you absolutely ace it, and kind of around between you and Balthazar, you manage to like hairpin turn and kind of wrench the griffin from one side to the other to avoid these shots as they rain down. And worryingly, they kind of detonate across the roofs of the city below. But you have all managed, so Zumbo, Katya, and Slate, you managed to kind of protect Emily and shield her, kind of dispel the shots coming in as she fires off the crossbow bolt, and you've all succeeded. So I'll leave it all to you lot this time if you decide how far you want to move. So depending on your speed, so move up one bracket if you're going normal, or if you're going full speed, then it's disadvantage, but 2 brackets.
Double speed.
You're going double again?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go 120. Woo! And how far are Hiram and Emily going?
I mean, Hiram already moved.
Oh, we did. Okay, never mind. How far's okay? So, Hiram, you watch as Balthazar clearly wants to get in on the action, and he kind of zooms off to provide the Aegis to everyone else. And you will watch in horror as Slate flies, like twists between this wall of dragons as the dragons come barreling down into close proximity. So, if you bear in mind, if you moved doubly as fast, so that's Slate and Balthazar, you have disadvantage on the upcoming rolls. But these dragons begin flying in and they just kind of swarm you. There's red scales and Githyanki riders coming from all directions as claw and tooth kind of lash out to try and dismount you. Zumbo, as these dragons come in, what are you doing to survive the attack?
They look like they're going to breathe on us.
So there's a mix of, it looks primarily like claw and tooth attacks. So they're trying to get in close. The dragons are kind of swinging at you, trying to smack you with their tails. The Githyanki are trying to get in close enough to stab at you on the back of the hippogriffs.
Right, okay. I guess Betty is just like multiplying on his hat till there are, and as a new Betty pops up, he's kind of lobbing it at the closest dragon to try and like hit it in the face and distract it.
Sure.
So he does that a few times until Bessie stops multiplying, and then he leaves her alone.
Okay, so you're using your swarm of familiar, like Betty multiplication ability.
Yeah.
Flogging me. Okay, cool. So Zumbo, as you begin tossing these, tossing Betties at passing dragons, you watch as Betty suckers onto the faces of the Githyanki riders, and it's been a while since you've seen it happen, but you watch these riders go stiff as she attaches to their faces, and they just list off the sides of the backs of the dragons, and plummet paralyzed to the ground below. And the dragons and the passengers, the crossbow passengers, look surprised as some of these dragons kind of peel off without any kind of command. Balthazar, what are you doing?
I will use my perception if possible.
Yeah.
To shout out directions to everyone. Say, coming out below. One on the left, Zumbo, get him. On the right, watch out, Katya.
Okay, roll me a perception with disadvantage as you.
Here he is.
The speed and there's the sound of the wind rushing past your helmet makes it hard to shout out. But give me a.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so despite that,
24.
the high winds and high speeds, you absolutely boss it, and you're able to shout out commands and kind of duck and dive and kind of predict where the dragons are going to be in the next few moments. Katya.
So Katya hears Balthazar's commands and sees one of the dragons coming at her. She puts her hand on the back of the griffin's head, holding on, and then projects Aaron Fox's voice into its mind, and basically says, "You've got this, girl. You know what to do." And then she basically yanks on the reins and hopes for the best.
Okay, is that one of your abilities?
Well, it technically is telepathic, or it could be actor. So, choice is yours, DM, if it's an ability or not.
Give me a performance.
Gladly. 21.
Okay, as you whisper into the hippogriff's ear, intoning kind of Aaron's voice, you see the feathers on the back of this hippogriff's head kind of perk up in recognition. And then as you finish, your stomach lurches as this griffin pulls its wings and legs in tight, and it just drops suddenly and then shoots up and blows through this line of dragons, carrying you through as it corkscrews to take you past. Emily.
I assume what she does is she makes the hippogriff fly straight ahead fairly quickly, and she's going to use jump on a dragon to drop onto the back of the hippogriff at the end.
You're gonna vault a dragon.
Yes. Because clearly I have not learned from my really, really shitty roll from before. Acrobatics?
Okay. I'm gonna call it.
Say like she throat punches a Githyanki on the way past.
I'm gonna say acrobatics. Holy moly! Right, voluntary dismounting at high speeds at 480 feet. Right.
She's got a grappling hook. It's fine.
Oh shit! You
has a grappling hook.
In that case, I take it back. What happens is she uses a grappling hook to get onto the back of the dragon.
Okay.
But then acrobatics her way through it.
Sure. Okay, roll me acrobatics with advantage.
Is she carjacking a dragon?
Okay. Emily grabs this grappling hook, and as the dragon comes in, she swings it, and it latches through one of the quill, like the fin, on the back of the dragon's neck. And the dragon roars as she pulls it, and effectively kind of slingshots around the dragon. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite come loose, but Hiram, you see Emily attached to a dragon, with the hippogriff struggling between her legs. What do you do?
Obviously, I'm going to catch her.
So there are other dragons kind of breaking off and heading towards you.
Great, I'm heading for Emily because someone needs to catch her.
Okay. How are you gonna get past the dragons to catch her, or to help her? I should say.
How close are we talking? with the dragons? This
Uh,
is 60
so
feet.
the dragons are approximately 30 feet away,
Okay.
but 30 feet in closing.
This is gonna be so incredibly stupid, but I don't give a shit anymore. Hiram is going to slightly shield the eyes of Battleshag, then
Yeah.
hold up his weapon and cast daylight on the tip of it to blind the dragons.
Okay, so in which case, as these two dragons come in, Battleshag lowers its head and closes its eyes, and as you hold up your original sword, it glows with this piercing white light, and the two dragons screech as they're blinded, and they instinctively peel away, allowing you to kind of pass and kind of catch up with, eventually catch up with Emily. Okay, so that's a pass. Last but not least, Slate. As you break past the barrier of, like, the wall of dragons, you can see some of the ships kind of hard banking to intercept you. And you can see kind of the Githyanki raiders kind of literally hanging onto the sides. Some of them kind of shooting crossbows, and one of the Githyanki you notice is wearing robes, and they begin waving their hands as lightning crackles between their hands, and then they fire a lightning bolt in your direction. What do you do?
How close are they to me?
Probably about 30 to 50 feet and enclosing.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I'd like to cast confusion on it.
Okay. So, as you go to, you see this wizard, this Gish, beginning to cast a spell, and you can see behind the spellcaster is the pilot in this kind of helm's seat. And as you reach out into the mind and cast confusion, you see the pilot look confused for a moment, and the ship suddenly jerks to the side as the pilot changes course, and the skiff crashes into one alongside it, rocking all the Githyanki. The spellcaster stumbles, and where they had their hands busy casting the spell, staggers and tips over the edge of the ship, and plummets past you as they head down to the ground 540 feet below.
Oh god, I hope that Magnus is able to catch them.
Okay, so that's a pass as well. So
Magnus will put out a mage hand cantrip. Go, oh no!
So
couldn't catch them.
As at this point, as you look up, and so those of you kind of at 480 feet, you've managed to avoid the first kind of initial assaults of the dragons, but you find yourselves kind of getting bogged down as the dragons kind of fly rings around the hippogriffs and kind of ward you off with gouts of flame from their breath. You hear a piercing screech, and you watch, the four of you in the middle watch as a number of the dragons these smaller shapes collide into the side of them, as you watch as Raedra, Aaron, and the other hippogriff knights manage to catch up with you and start flanking the dragons and knocking the riders off the backs. Some of them, you see one dragon get skewered by 3 lancers in tandem, while Aaron throws a javelin at a third, which catches it in the eye.
Nice.
Raedra swoops under, takes off, slices through the wing membrane of another dragon, sending the dragons in front of you scattering. And
brutal.
They look to you and shout, "We'll hold them off! Keep going!" They cry out.
Thanks, Aaron.
As this happens, there are more ships beginning to converge in the area, reacting to your presence, and worryingly, another group of dragons begins to emerge from the Adlershar overhead. As the Hippogriff Knights buy you some time, we'll start at the back. Hiram, you've managed to blind these 2 dragons, and you can see Emily is attached to one of the dragons, but how far do you want to move?
How far can I move if I want to pick her up?
Well, I mean, as long as you both end in the same place. Because, I mean, she can stay or... I mean, she moves up normally. You can
I
dash.
think I assume everyone's
catch her.
going to move, so I kind of need to double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you double up so Buttershrug flaps its wings, and there's a surge of speed, and an ever so faint light kind of comes off the tips of its wings as it surges up into the sky, and you manage to cut the grappling hook that Emily's holding on to and kind of catch her, and the two of you carry on upwards. Balthazar, how fast are you going? But if everyone moves again.
Yeah, just do 60. And for my action, I'll do minute meteors.
Yeah, what? Excellent one.
And I want to blast the ships with my meteors.
Okay, so in which case, yeah, as you... 4th level, blimey. Okay, so as you conjure the glowing blue orbs around your head, over the space of the next kind of dozens of seconds, you fling them out towards the ship, and as they impact the side like small cannon fire, you force one of the ships ahead of you to kind of peel away as the hull was breached.
Nice.
So you have passed. Katya.
I imagine what Cash is going to do now. She's getting a bit more control of it. Get it to sort of swoop around the side, peel up through, and then basically just plow through a bunch of Githyanki claws first.
Sorry, say that all again.
Basically, now she's got more control of it. Get it to fly alongside of the ship, then suddenly swoop up and then through the deck, and just basically claws first.
Okay, that sounds
like Yankee bowling.
That sounds like an animal handling to me.
It does indeed. Animal handling, 11.
11. Okay, so as you manage to kind of swoop up level with the deck. As you swoop down towards the deck, you take some Githyanki by surprise, and they are kind of 10-pin bowling knocked off the sides of the ship. But your hippogriff screeches in pain as one of the warriors, like one of the raiders on the ship, throws a barbed spear which kind of stabs into its side, and it kind of flounders around a little bit. What's Emily doing now that she's been retrieved by Hiram?
Holding on sheepishly.
Yeah.
Mostly, and yeah, just making sure that she's flying safely for a while.
Okie dokie. That's if she's being safe. Let's ask for looking for the safest routes. Let's ask for a perception. Okay, she's a bit unsure. Hiram, what are you doing to help? Bear in mind you've got disadvantage as you had to swoop up to catch her.
Okay. He's gonna pluck Emily off of the back of the hippogriff and put her in front of him.
Okay. So if you're pulling her onto your steed, and what are you doing to avoid these kind of blockading ships?
Same as Emily, I'm just looking for a safe way to get past them.
Sure. Let's call it a warding bond.
Okay.
A warding bond as you grab Emily, and then that will allow you to pass. Okay, so cool. Zumbo. You notice, so you and Slate are together as you kind of peel ahead, and you see sort of like what seems to be the main bulk of the dragons up ahead, and there's you can see that they're diving towards you, and like all of their in a row, like a wave, you see their throats begin to glow in unison as they all kind of bring their bodies back. They swoop to bring themselves to a halt, and they appear to be they're gonna hit you with a wall of fire. What do you do?
Yeah, so if it's okay, I'm actually going to do two things, an action and a bonus action.
Okay.
So Betty is going to sort of puff herself up and give a ridiculously loud, terrifying scream. Sounds very much like a kraken, waving her tentacles and basically trying to clear startle the dragons into clearing a path.
Sure.
And then at the same time, she's going to start spraying water all over Zumbo and the hippogriff, and he'll turn into his watery form.
Okay.
So effectively a minor illusion and an aqueous form.
Okay, so the minor illusion, I'll let you roll an intimidation with advantage.
Nice. Okay. Intimidation with advantage. Oh, okay. She's a very small kraken. Can I use inspiration on that?
You
Or do you not have
You can.
double advantage? Okay.
Let yourself have advantage.
Thanks. Oh.
Oh boy. Okay. Slate. You can see this blockade of dragons about to hit you with a 60-foot wall of flame. Wall of flame.
That's fine. I would like to cast a fog cloud on them.
Okay. What level?
How far away are they all? How many of them are going that way? How close? What are they doing?
So there's a good kind of dozen dragons ahead of you. They're spaced out. It seems like they're spaced out in such a way they're about 60 feet apart. So when they, they're properly spaced out because they've got all the room to maneuver. But they've also had time to react to your approach. So they seem to just want to kind of slow you down.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna cast fog cloud at level 5.
Level 5. Okay. In which case, if you spend that spell slot, I will allow you. That's a pass. So you and Zumbo both pass as well.
Fog is apparently one of the best ways of dispelling fire.
The more you know. Okay, so as this happens, as you cast the fog cloud and the thick fog spews out in front of you, the dragons release their concerted fire breath, and it hits your magical fog and just stops as the magical kind of water vapor fights against the magical flame. And then as you dispel it, Zumbo, it also gives you an opportunity to get a bit of cover as Betty waves her hands in a very cute manner. Waves her tentacles in a very cute manner, but you're kind of consumed by the fog as the two of you kind of emerge out with fog trails behind you as you kind of sneak between the gaps of the dragons. Okay, potentially one of the last rounds. Balthazar, those of you down below, you can see that from another ship off to the side, there is more and more dragon kind of reinforcements are appearing. More and more ships are converging. As you look up, it dawns on you that actually there might be a few too many to fight your way to get through. The dragons are now really kind of, now that they've had a chance to reorganize, they're fighting in an organized. Well, they're fighting in a structured manner. Mm-hmm. But as you all look up, you notice that the reinforcements that have arrived, they stop in the air and look to you. And you see that the rider leading the reinforcements is none other than Ka'anoth. And as he watches you approach, he raises his hand as the gullet of his dragon begins to glow. And as he brings his hand down, his forces turn their dragons' heads on their own forces, and Githyanki are consumed by dragon flame as the
mutiny.
The Githyanki start fighting amongst themselves. There's panic and confusion on the ships as some of Ka'anoth's dragons begin landing on the astral skiffs and heavily overbalancing them and kind of swatting Githyanki off the decks. And Ka'anoth smiles as he peels away with a good half of the forces arrayed before you. There are still some dragons left in play, but you realise now that you have a chance to make a break for the Adlershar, which lies just out of reach. So, Balthazar, what do you do?
Cool. I'm gonna use enhance ability with bull strength. Oh god.
And how far are you going? Sorry.
I'm just gonna go to 60. Come on.
So if everyone moves, and Zumbo and Slate, obviously you can.
Yeah, I don't know why it rolled. Anyways, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go jousting. So Balthazar will have one shield in hand, will have his quarterstaff in the other, tip pointed forward, and he's gonna go charge towards the nearest dragon and go jousting, and basically try and use strength to knock the dragon out or knock the rider out.
Okay.
Can't we actually just beeline towards the end?
You could. Hiram and Emily, are you beelining to catch up to?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, so as you all, so everyone beelines. Balthazar, did you want to beeline as everyone flies past you?
I'm knocking the dragon out, and then I guess the next turn I'll do that. But yes,
Sure.
that is the idea.
Okay, so with a 20, Balthazar, so you fly in, you can see that these dragons are, there's a dragon that's confused. The two Githyanki on its back are roasted by Karnoth's attack. And as this dragon looks around a bit, looks over its shoulder, confused, it turns around to you as you swoop past with your staff, and as you, dong, you hit it in the side of the head, and the dragon's head clicks round, and it, in a confused state, it kind of flutters towards the ground, losing some considerable height.
It is.
Slate, what are you doing as you're in the shadow of the Adlershar? You can see the two, the twin holes overhead. Between the holes hangs this large kind of metal. It looks like the big metal tube carried by that peculiar blue dragon dwarf. Subtle Brannigan, you think his name is. It looks like a massive cannon. But you notice that the surface of the cannon is covered in glowing runes, and they're glowing in this kind of pulsating rainbow color. And it seems there's a low, bassy thrum, which seems to be growing from this device. But yeah, what do you do as the last of the dragons and ships try to stop you getting any higher?
What would happen if I heated metal to that thing?
Do it.
I'm doing that.
Sure, okay. So as you cast heat metal, you're casting on the cannon.
Mm-hmm, it's metal.
Like if there's powder in it, it would detonate, right?
So as you cast the spell and you see the surface of the barrel begin to go from this kind of the steely metal grey color it normally is to orange, to red, to orange, to white, you watch as the runes begin to absorb the heat.
Uh-oh.
And it appears to be charging up a little bit faster, if anything.
I'll say in the group chat. Think I made a mistake.
It is an elemental cannon.
So, Balthazar pass. Katya, what's Katya doing to get through the last of the blockade?
I imagine she's sort of just getting her feet in, getting her arms around it, and using her sort of acrobatic skill to sort of really get some movement out of it, even with it wounded.
Okay, and how are you doing that?
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics.
That'll be a disadvantage because go faster stripes.
Yeah.
But that's still 21. I'd have been a nat 20 otherwise.
Okay.
Ooh.
So, using your acrobatics to kind of pull the, to maneuver, to weave with your hippogriff through the last of the defenders, you managed to make it through. Hiram and Emily, what are you doing in this last line of defense?
Not die in a horrible fiery death.
Always preferable.
Smite the dragon.
Sure, why the fuck not?
Okay, In which case, Emily, like on the back of, like in front of you on Buttershark, she grimaces as this dragon like swoops towards you. It opens its maw, and you see the heat waves kind of radiating from its mouth. And as it kind of goes to bring a claw back, you swing your glowing sword in an arc and hit. You crack into the ribcage. You drop and crack into the ribcage of the dragon hard enough that it yelps out in pain and kind of flies off to the side, wounded, leaving the path clear. And with that, the 6 of you manage to get past the rest of the dragons as the Githyanki forces, in confusion, kind of turn in on themselves. As you see, cutting off, and his dragons kind of swatting aside those still loyal to Zinaleth. You peel either side of the ship until you're above it, and you can see like there's a number of kind of Githyanki warriors and raiders looking down at the chaos beneath them. And as you kind of swoop over the deck and drop down onto the deck of the ship itself, you look up, and stood on the captain's deck, staring down at you, is a fully armored Githyanki commander wearing a uniquely horned helmet. And as she looks to you and lowers her head slightly, and with a deliberate action draws her greatsword, we will call it there.
Woo!
Ooh.
Yeah, man.
Very cool.
Did it in style.
Congratulations, everyone.
That's pretty good.
On completing session 37.
Nice.
Woo.
You made it. See? Dragons aren't a problem.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Cool. So, yes, congratulations on completing it. The Warhounds are now aboard the Adler Shah, 600 and something feet above the streets of Suzail. So, please don't trip. And do not run while wet. Yes, so next week we'll find out what happens. We'll have a showdown between the Warhounds and the Hunter Who Hates, which I'm sure will be calamitous indeed. But
delightful.
Yes, if nothing else, thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. If you liked what we're doing here, we have loads of other videos similar to this, which you can find up in the corner here. And if you really, please like the video, leave a comment on your favorite bit. If you really enjoyed what we're doing here, we have loads of other stuff, so just click on the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notifications when new stuff comes out. Otherwise, I think we've all deserved a well-deserved thank you, and I will see you all next time.
Bye.
There, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. High above the streets of Suzail, the Warhounds finally come to battle against Zinaleth, the Hunter Who Hates. With the destruction of Suzail mere minutes away, will they be able to stop this vengeful Githyanki? Come back next time to find out. Thank you all for watching to the end of the video. We really appreciate your support. And it's always fun to try new ways of presenting threats and encounters in D&D 5e, so I'd love it if you left a comment down below on if you think the Sky Battle worked. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. We release episodes on a 3-on, 1-off weekly schedule, as well as shorts on our TTRPG podcast, Tapping Between Dimensions. In fact, you can find another video here, and you should hit the subscribe button here if you want more content like this. So, with all that said, thank you once again, and as always, stay safe, and may the realms endure.